Hi, everybody. It's Jared Wade, Communications Director for the Town of Avon. And tonight is something just a little bit different. I'm doing an okay, let's chat with a couple of the individuals that are on not one, but two different boards and commissions. Kathryn and Paul are both on the BZA and the Plan Commission. And if you've noticed over the last, 3 weeks or so, you've been seeing a lot of social media pushes and information going out there in regards to, if you live in the town of Avon, this is a great opportunity to be a part of what's going on and make those changes happen and know and have a better understanding of what's going on. So we're going to take just a few minutes. If you have questions as we are chatting, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will do my very best to get those questions to Kathryn and Paul. But I want to make sure that we take, right at the beginning, a brief moment to recognize the fact that not last night, but what was it last night? It was Monday. We had a Plan Commission meeting that had 0 waivers. I think that goes down in history. There wasn't one single waiver that came through. Kathryn mentioned that a couple different times. So to start things off, Kathryn, can you take about 30 seconds, introduce yourself, let us all know who you are.
So my name is Kathryn Ransburg. I live in Avon, obviously, and I have lived in Hendricks County for about 6 years now, but I'm from Indiana. I spent most of my life in Indiana and in and around Indianapolis. I'm an attorney, small business owner, and have been civically and politically active for the last several years, and it was brought to my attention that one of the best ways to make a difference in your community is to work within your community and be on a board or a commission. And that was suggested to me, and I'm super happy that I'm doing both. I get a lot of satisfaction out of serving on both the Plan Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Awesome. All right, Paul, we're going to kick it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Paul Guckenberger. I've been living in Hendricks County and really on the west side for about 40 years now. Started working at a local utility company in Plainfield when I got out of college. And I'm an IT guy in the electrical utility business. So I've been working in that industry my entire career. Of course, like Kathryn, live in Avon with my wife and my 2 grown daughters, one who lives in Avon and one who lives in the Indianapolis area. When part of what, like Kathryn, I was looking to get involved in how to give back to the community and looking at various things. And I had a neighbor who was involved in the local politics and encouraged me to look at the boards and commissions. And when the opportunity came up, I put my name in, got the opportunity to serve, and was appointed by the then town council president to serve on both the Plan Commission and BZA. So kind of not by choice, but by appointment. But it was lucky for me because I actually enjoy both of them. And I think Kathryn and I both could tell you a lot of stories in the times that we've served. They're both some long meetings, but some exciting meetings, watching Avon grow and develop over the years.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So you briefly both talked a little bit about kind of the differences. You both serve on BZA and Plan Commission. If you don't know, there are multiple different boards and commissions that you can serve on. There's the Police Merit Commission Board. There's BZA. There's Plan Commission. There's PRBC, which is Parks and Beautification. There's a slew of different places that you can serve. Real quick, and I don't know who wants to take this one. FYI, everybody, we did not rehearse any of this. This is literally off the cuff. This is live stuff. Whoever wants to kind of take this question, what is the difference between BZA and Plan Commission? Because not all of the boards do the same exact thing. So can you give us a little bit of definition and details about what separates those two specific organizations or commissions and boards?
Go right ahead, Kathryn.
Well, they serve different functions within town government. And one of the ways that you can look at the Board of Zoning Appeals is that Board of Zoning Appeals is a quasi-judicial organization in that they have the final say. And they take care of requests to get zoning waivers, or if there need to be changes in zoning, particularly as we're developing and agricultural land is becoming residential or commercial, that needs to go before the BZA. But they are the BZA is a judicial, and the only way you can appeal a decision from the BZA, if I am correct on this, is to go to court and have it changed. The Plan Commission is different. And it's very important in terms of anything that comes in front of the town. And feel free to jump in here, Paul, anytime. Anything any new development or that comes into the town, has to be approved by the Plan Commission, which has to be presented to the Plan Commission, which will then make their recommendations to the town council, and the town council will then make the ultimate decision. So things like if there's everything from, you mentioned waivers. If there's a neighborhood that's being developed and they want a waiver in terms of how wide the streets are for certain reasons, or how, if there's a commercial development where they want to, we had one recently where there was a back and forth with regards to the overhang eaves and how big they should be. That all goes in front of the Planning Commission, and we are a quasi-legislative branch. And so what we do is that we hear petitions for new neighborhoods, to put in a business, to add on to a building, and even things like we had one a while ago, Paul, we can remember there was a gentleman who wanted to put an outbuilding on his property, and I think it was going to be larger than the ordinances required. And so he was asking for a waiver to be able to build something that was, I think it was taller because of the type of vehicles he was going to put in. I think that, if I remember correctly. So it can be everything from an individual homeowner wanting to do something to their property, add a garage, or like this gentleman, to a whole new mall or neighborhood development. And all that goes in front of the Plan Commission. We hear the petitioner, we hear input from the public, and then we make our recommendations to send that stuff on to the town council for approval. So the appeal from a Planning Commission decision is actually to go to the town council, who is the ultimate decision maker. And I think that's all correct.
We'll go with it. It sounds good. You sounded confident. So it's the really nice part about where you're at, in my opinion. I don't serve on any of the boards, any of the commissions, but you're never by yourself. So even if you've got questions, we have an amazing legal team between Dan and Mitchell and Anna that are always available to be able to assist and answer those questions and to use them as a resource. And I've seen both of you ask questions to Dan and to Mitchell multiple times. I'm going to cough. There it is. But for me, that's encouraging. You're not just kind of being thrown out there and left to the wolves, so to speak.
And we have a great staff too, because we rely on our staff to help us keep track of the ordinance requirements. Our legal team is great, and you're right. Paul and I are quite happy to defer to the people who get paid to know this stuff. But our staff is also very knowledgeable, and I know that we frequently ask Bill Peoples or Ian if can you clarify what the ordinance says, and they are. I mean, we couldn't do our job without either our legal team or the staff. They make it so. I don't think I would want to do this without them sitting there and giving us guidance.
I wouldn't want to either. Absolutely. No, there's no chance. So let me throw this at you, Paul. Talking about staff, talking about the support that it sounds like you and Kathryn and everybody on the different boards and commissions receive. Before you joined BZA, before you joined Plan Commission or any of the other boards, was there anything that you felt was keeping you away? Was there something that you were like, I don't want to do it because of this specific thing? And now that you've served and you've been a part of it for quite some time now, do you feel that those feelings have completely gone away? Do you feel that maybe you overthunk it? What might that be, if you want to share that with us?
Yeah, there's probably two things that kept me from committing to serve before, and it was the time commitment, not really knowing how much time it would take, and did I have enough knowledge to be able to do the job? And that's one of the things that I was encouraged to put my name in, because I brought the experience of working for a utility company, which affects all of us, as well as being a citizen of the town. So when I first joined the Plan Commission, I was really impressed with the members at that time, because we had a really good cross section of experience in different industries. I felt like I was more of the citizen representation on the commission. I didn't bring the construction experience or the roads experience. I just brought more of, hey, I'm a citizen of the town, and what I would like to see developed in the town, as well as complying with our ordinances. So over time, then, what I've learned is take time to read the ordinances. As Kathryn mentioned, listen to the staff. They've got a lot of experience. They help provide guidance. Seek the input of council that on the BZA and the Plan Commission. Make sure that we're transparent and we're thorough when we're asking questions, and give the public the opportunity to weigh in on the different cases. So I really enjoy what I do, and I would encourage anybody to put their name in to serve on any of the boards or commissions, because there's usually open seats, and there's not a lot of people that are competing for the position. So there's a high likelihood that you'd get the opportunity to serve. And any service on any of the boards or commissions will help shape Avon in the future, what Avon will look like.
That's a good, well done, Paul. Well done. That was outstanding. It's like you thought about that before I asked the question. I like that. I will tell everybody I did send them some of these questions beforehand, so that way they could think through it, because I don't want to leave them out there. I'll buy them loans. I'll buy them their lonesome. Kathryn, this question's for you. Looking or thinking back on past cases, and you've already kind of talked about one about a building that had to be built a little bit taller than what the allowances were. Were there any cases, were there any times that, and Paul, you can answer this one too if you want to, but I'm just giving it to Kathryn first because you spoke last. Is there anything that has jumped out that you're like, you know what, that was a cool thing? It was neat to be a part of that moment in that part of Avon's history.
I'm trying to think if there's anything specific. We've had a lot of situations where businesses have come to us wanting waivers, and because just as a little background, we have a new UDO. We have a new set of ordinances that our staff worked very, very, very hard on, and to help to clarify and create some consistency so that we are we're not just rubber stamping everything, and so that Avon is being developed in a thoughtful way, in a productive way.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's always good. It's always a good feeling when you have a business that comes to you, and sometimes they don't necessarily take as much time as they want to read our ordinances, or they've done the same thing in another town and just assume they could come here and do the same thing. And it's always a good feeling when we push back and we say, we're not going to give you a waiver on this. We'd like you to come back. And when at the end of the day, we're able to come to an agreement so that that business can come to Avon, that's always a really good feeling, that collaborative feeling. I will say, and now that I think about the being part of watching the development of the new Avon downtown that's going to happen just west of the current town hall,
Yeah.
East and Gray, is going to be. I think that's really cool, and because this is a big project that's going to mean a lot for the town, and to be in it from its inception practically, and to be part of contributing to how that develops, and from the original plat that was first presented to us. I think we've only had 2 presentations on that, at this point, if I recall correctly. But we're in very early stages, and there has been a lot of conversation. Our meetings have gone. There's been a lot of give and take, and a lot of questions, and a lot of being very thoughtful about how we're doing this. I think that one of the other things is the warehouses on 100 North, on the north side of 100 North. There was a request that we do a new PUD for them, because we didn't have anything in the current ordinances that would accommodate these warehouses, which are much larger than your average warehouse. And I felt like we really put in a lot of time to make sure that in approving their request, that we were being very careful not to accidentally create a precedent for something in the future that we would not want. And that I was very happy to see that the commission was very involved and very cautious in being very thoughtful in terms of how we were approving that development. And so those kinds of things, knowing that we're not just going, oh yeah, sure, let's have another chicken place. But oh,
No,
sure.
wait, hang on a second here, Kathryn. What do you mean chicken place?
And or sure, you can have another 4,000 lot automobile dealership or whatever. We're not doing that. And that is something that makes it enjoyable to be on those boards.
That's fantastic. Paul, you want to add anything into that one?
Yeah, just a couple things here that Kathryn made me think of is that we spend a lot of time on the boards and commission, especially plan commissions, deliberating some of the cases. I can remember some rezoning cases that took us 6 meetings to go over, and working with the developer before we could forward a recommendation to the town council. And then the town council didn't approve our recommendation, which I was like, we spent a lot of time with the developer to get the details down to make the recommendation we did. And a lot of that is to work with the developers to get what's best for Avon. And I think with our new UDO, our new set of ordinances, what we saw last night is through collaboration with developers and citizens of Avon, we have a set of ordinances now that the developers can work with and can build products that are good for the citizens and good for them. So it's a win-win for everybody. So that's one of the things I think about with the Plan Commission and with the BZA. We're there to address variances to the zoning ordinances, because sometimes they don't fit, and it doesn't always feel good sometimes, because you're making a determination based on the zoning ordinances. It's not an opinion. It's just a adherence to the ordinance. And so working with the petitioners to work through what they need to do to either adhere to the ordinances or look at alternatives to be able to meet the ordinances or recommend a change that we could approve. So it can be tough, but it's very satisfying, again, because you're influencing Avon. And the one last thing I'll say is, I've heard several times over my years of service is, why are you making decisions like that? We're just Avon. And I always reply back, but it is just Avon, and I want Avon to be better, to where people be better than saying it's just Avon, like it's not an important town. It is an important town. We are a large town and we are growing. And so it's to have pride in the growth of Avon and what we're becoming.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with that. I think there tends to be and this is true in any, we're not the only town that is experiencing a lot of growth that is hearing this, but a lot of people are like, I remember when Avon was just one stoplight, and now look at, US 36 and that kind of thing. And I think there's a feeling that we just shouldn't allow anything to happen. But growth is going to happen one way or another, whether we like it or not. And we can either do nothing and just let it happen willy-nilly and have no plan and no idea for how we want Avon to be as a town, or we can be active participants. And I am glad to say, I agree with Paul. I get a little prickly when people say, well, it's just Avon. It's like, what does that mean? Does that mean we shouldn't be thoughtful about, what kind of community we're going to be? Because we are the largest town in Hendricks County, and we're going to continue to grow. There's no end in sight in terms of people wanting to move here.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you both mentioned, and you've mentioned this a couple different times, but the UDO. The UDO is, for those that don't know what the UDO, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to oversimplify this, but it's basically a rule book. It's a rule book that says this can happen or this cannot happen. And the cleaner and the more effective and the more efficient that we can make our government through the UDO allows us to be better stewards. It allows us to be better representatives. It allows meetings to go quicker. It allows for us to use our resources and our finances in a more efficient manner. So that element, the thing that Kathryn and Paul keep referencing back to, that UDO, it's a very powerful tool for us, for the commissions, for the boards to use, because that's what they go back to and they say, no, this is what we're basing our decisions off of, and this is how we're moving forward. So going with what Kathryn said in regards to responsible growth, making sure that we just don't throw up places left and right. Does it fit within these guidelines that we're all saying, yes, this is what we all agree upon, or even what Paul was saying in regards to, but it's just Avon. It's so interesting how words work, where you could say it's just Avon, yeah, but it's Avon. Like, just remove the just, it's Avon. And there's a lot that Avon can do, and there's a lot that Avon is currently doing, and there's a lot that Avon's going to continue to do down the road. We're not just going to turn off the lights next week. It's an ongoing process, and it's not a game of checkers. It's a very long game that we're playing here to make sure that we take care of our children and our children's children and so on and so forth. So that responsible growth is a key element. A couple of questions. I want to be respectful of your time, but I did want to find out if either one of you want to share a bit about, now that you've served on these boards, now that you have a better insight into what can happen, what cannot happen, and everything in between, how has your view of the town and being a citizen, being somebody that can serve, has it changed? Has it opened up, different viewpoints, thoughts, opinions, things of that nature?
Yeah, I'll go in. I'll start here and just say that I realize if I want something to change, it's up to me to participate and help drive that change. You can sit back and not say anything and maybe complain, but there's an opportunity to help make a difference. And it is really changed the way I've looked at being involved. So it's like making a commitment, get involved, provide an opinion. Sometimes my opinion is not taken or is ignored, but it wouldn't even be considered if I didn't provide some input. So it's been fun and an honor to serve Avon. I really enjoy it. I can plan to continue to do it as long as the council will allow me to serve, because we all serve at the pleasure of the council. But it's also here to serve my fellow neighbors and citizens of Avon, and really trying to make Avon its Avon.
Yeah. Kathryn, you want to throw anything in there?
Yeah, I think it has given me a new appreciation for how hard our local government employees and elected officials work. There's this general idea out there that they don't know what they're doing, or the one that really upsets me is when people assume that there's some kind of sweetheart deals happening or anything like that. And I always laugh, because I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works. I mean, the thoughtfulness of the people who are involved, both on the staff and who serve on the boards and who are elected to the town council. I mean, there's real people are really trying to do their best. And if you don't like what you see happening, then the best way to do, at a minimum, attend the meetings, attend the town council meetings, attend the BZA meetings, attend the planning commission meetings, so that you can see just exactly how these things happen. And I'm very proud of Avon. I'm very proud of the steps that we've taken over the last several years to grow into the town that we are. We are no longer a little sleepy bedroom community with 2 stoplights, and we haven't been for quite some time. And it's nice to see that we are growing into our position in the county and in the state. I anticipate Avon is the center of activity in Hendricks County, and I anticipate that we will become even more important within the state as we continue to grow. And I'm very happy, and, as Paul said, honored to be participating in some level on that.
That's fantastic. All right, last question, and then we're going to wrap things up. If there is somebody sitting at home right now watching this live, or they're watching it a couple days down in the future, and they're considering, hey, you know what? I live in the town. I might be interested. I don't know what or where I want to serve. I don't know if I really want to do it. What would be that comforting comment? What would you say to that person that's on the point of thinking, I kind of want to do it, but I'm not for sure yet that I want to do it? What would you say to them?
I would tell them to reach out and ask questions. Contact the town hall, town manager, get on the website and submit a message. Send a message to you, Jared, asking about this, because Jared's a great resource and a source of information, and ask about the different boards and commissions. So don't hesitate for lack of knowing. Go ahead and get more information and find out about it, and then make a decision. But it's your town. It's your opportunity to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. I mean, reach out to go to the town hall and talk to Jared, or talk to Bill Peoples, or talk to any of the staff members about what do the people on this particular board do, and what does it involve. And some boards have more requirements than others. I would say if you're on the Plan Commission, you need to put in a little bit more time than you would on some of the other commissions. But if you are a person who is interested in learning about town government and being part of town government and participating in town government, then ask questions. I would encourage anybody who is interested in any way to put in an application. This isn't one of those jobs where you have to have a master's degree in this, or you have to have 10 years experience in doing that. All of that experience is helpful, but I know that the experience that Paul brings to the table and that I bring to the table are very, very different. But as a result of both of our life experiences, we both are able to see things within the Plan Commission and within the petitions sent for us. We're able to ask questions that somebody else on the commission might not ask because we bring a different set of skills and knowledge with us. So, I would not say anybody does not have what it takes to be on a board. I would encourage anybody to be on a board. And if you don't want to serve on a board, attend the meetings. You can attend in person. You can watch them streaming live. You can pull them up on the website, which we have a great website that lets people to do that. And I just think it's the absolute best way to be involved in your community in a way that really makes a difference for yourself and your neighbors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had the pleasure of sitting in on many different Plan Commission, BZA, PRBC, everything in between, RDC, RDA. And the one consistent thing that I've never heard was this was a waste of my time. I've never heard anybody say this was pointless. Now, there might be discussions that go back and forth and it takes up a little bit of time, but I've never ever seen somebody walk away while they're serving and say, there's just no point for me to be here. Every single person that is serving up there, their opinion matters and their insight matters. And I can't agree enough with what Kathryn and Paul were saying, especially in regards to Kathryn mentioning you have different life differences, things that have happened that have formed you into a unique individual, and you have a certain viewpoint. And Kathryn and Paul's viewpoints are probably very different. They're two different human beings, and they're able to give those perspectives when a new business wants to come in, and they can say, hey, this is going to impact certain people this way, and it's going to impact certain people that way. So it's always neat to find out all the differences between if you're a lawyer or you work in technology, or you're a teacher, or you drive a bus, or you work at Cabin Coffee. It doesn't matter. If you're willing to come in and you're willing to say, hey, I want to make Avon better, then you should be serving. That's the only question that I think you should be asking yourself. Do you want to make Avon a better place for everybody who lives here? Yes? Come on. We'll find a spot for you. And last but not least, I want to give a really big shout out to Ryan Cannon and Bill Peoples and Ian Loera. They run the town council. They're kind of the staff go-to person for town council and Plan Commission and BZA. From me to them, they take a lot of time out of their day to even do those quick recaps where we want to make sure that as many people know what is going on as possible. And for them to take that time to simplify things and just talk about, hey, on a very basic level, this is what's going on and this is what's happening. I honestly appreciate that. And I don't know if they're watching right now or not, but that's okay, because everybody in the community should know that those three people do an immense amount of work here at Town Hall. And if you ever want to stop by and talk to them about those commissions and boards positions, Kathryn and Paul are absolutely right. Come on in and talk to them. I'll try my best to answer your questions, but if I don't know the answer, I'll hook you up with somebody who does have the right answer. So I'll always be honest on that front. Kathryn, Paul, thank you both so very, very much. I appreciate you both taking some time out of your night. We're going to wrap things up. Before we go, here we go. This is going to be a quick question, and I'm going to start with Paul. Paul, what's your favorite restaurant to go to in Avon?
I will have to say Charbono's. I've been a loyal Charbono's customer for years.
That's a good call. Kathryn, you had a little bit of time to think about it. What's your favorite restaurant to go to?
Either Opa's or Charbono's. It would be what kind of mood I'm in.
I like it. That's fantastic. No purpose for that question other than I'd like to find out where people like to go eat. So, Paul, Kathryn, thank you again. My friends, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us online, avongov.org. There is a whole section about boards and commissions, and that is updated regularly. So there's descriptions about what is entitled to be, or not entitled, but what is needed to be a part of those boards and commissions spaces. Those boards and commission spaces are normally put into place at the beginning of the years. That's why you're seeing a little bit of a heavier push right now to let people know, hey, we are looking for people to serve. And if you are interested, just let us know. You can always reach out to me. You can reach out to Ryan, Bill, or Ian. Or if you just don't know who to talk to and you're running short on time, you can use our brand new email, questions@avongov.org, questions@avongov.org. And no matter what your question is, we will get that question answered for you, get it sent to the right person. So we're making it very, very simple to get that truth, get that honest, get that factual information into as many hands as possible. Other than that, Kathryn, Paul, I will see you probably next week. No, week after next. No, BZA. Was it BZA next week?
BZA, yeah.
BZA's next week. They all run together in my brains. That's what happens. So, all right, my friends, be safe, be well, and we'll see you soon.